right? Hopefully a line doesn't take it personally, but I really don't care. Let me just try to catch up to you guys a little bit. How do you find this guy's slope? Yes, solve for y. So subtract 2x, divide by 4, so I get negative 1/2 x plus 5/4. So what's, yes sir?
How do you keep that?
Subtract 2x, divide by 4. Yeah, cool. So I'll pretty much always skip those steps because I have faith that you can solve for y. What's this guy's slope? Negative 1/2, so what's our slope?
2.
Yeah, the negative reciprocal of that. I like it. So remember, perpendicular lines have completely opposite slopes. So how many opposites do we know? Change the sign, flip it. So you do both of them to make it completely opposite. Kick ass. So I know my slope is 2. I know I go through the point negative 1, 2. Check, check. So I can put my equation together using whichever equation you want to use. So I don't know which one you guys want to use. If I use y minus y1, I use that one. Yeah, y minus the y piece equals m times x minus the x piece. Are you guys with me here? Do you guys see why? I mean, the reason that I need the slope and the y-intercept for the equation of a line is because the equation of a line needs the slope and, well, not the y-intercept, but a point. Once I get those two things, I don't care where I got them from. I just plug them in. So if you solve for y, multiply the 2 through, add 2, you get 2x plus 4. That's where you should end up. And how do you check your work? Yeah, when you plug a negative 1 in, you better get a 2 out. Sure enough, when I plug a negative 1, I get a 2 out. So at least that works, right? So real quick, at least you can check that.
So that's the answer, right?
That's it. Yeah, it's perpendicular to this because it's got the opposite slope. And it goes to that point because I put the point in. So it does both things it's supposed to do. So if I said find the line, the equation line that's parallel to that line, what would have been different? You would have used m equal to... Why did we use m equal 2? Why did we use that?
To find the...
Why did we use it? Where did it come from? It was a negative reciprocal of this. Now if I said parallel instead of perpendicular, I would have used negative 1/2. I would have used the same slope. If they're parallel, they have the same slope. But here's an example. A student will see this problem and they'll take away the wrong lesson. If I do a perpendicular example, they'll think you always do the negative. No, it's just because I said perpendicular. If I say parallel, you use the exact same slope. Right?
So perpendicular, you find reciprocal.
Negative reciprocal. If I say they're parallel, they must have the exact same slope. I like it. So I wouldn't have used u2, I would have used negative 1/2 in there. Okay. Alright. What about number 4? This should be for most of us not too bad. Yeah, solve for y again, right? So if I solve for y, add 6, divide by 2, I get 3/2 x plus 3. God, the number 3 lives to just torment me. And thus you. So my y-intercept is 0, 3. And I want to go where from there?
Up 3 over 2.
Doesn't that get off my...
Yeah.
So I can either change my scale. Now be careful. Dear God, I hate it when students start adding stuff to the... No. Your scale doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3. Your scale could be 3, 6, 9. You pick a scale so that it fits on the part that you didn't draw. That's there. You with me? But instead of changing my scale, because I can't go, I instead of going up 3 and over 2, I can go
Down 3.
down 3 and back 2, because it's the same number as 3/2. So if I go down 3, back 2, done. Or you change your scale, or you bring your own graph paper, and then you can make your own, you can do whatever you want to on there, right? Cool. So I will put like little graphs on the test that you can use, or you can use your own graph paper, either way. So if you solve for y, you know the slope and the y-intercept, you should be able to graph it using those things. You guess. So if somebody found the intercepts and plotted it that way, what do you think I would do? You'd be happy, Jeff. Well, what's the instruction say? Use slope and y-intercept. So if you found the two intercepts and plot, that's not good enough, right? I'm going to take some points off. If you got the answer right, I'll give you something. But you didn't do it the right way, so I'm going to take some points off. Aww. All right, moving on. Number 7. Oh yeah, so this dude. Once you see this, you'll get the idea. Somebody took a function. Do we even know what the function is? No, I don't tell you. But somebody had it, and then how did they plot this? How did they get this plot? How do you, if you have a function, you know what it looks like. You make your favorite thing, XY table, and then you plot the points, right? So one point they plotted, for example, was -4, 2, right? You guys with me? So what must f of -4 have been? What must they have gotten when they plugged the -4 in? They must have gotten a 2 out. There, see? So my first question there was, what is f of... What's the first... Sorry? F of 1? 4. So what's f of 4? Get a little careful. Beautiful. -5. I love it. Right? And that's just making sure you understand how to read this scale. Right? Halfway is 1. So it's 5, -5.
So that's the answer for -5?
The answer would be -5.
Just -5?
Because what is f of 4? -5. If you give me a point, f of 4 can't equal a point. Does that make sense? So if the question is f of 4, you say this. You would say, where is it? There it is. Equals -5. Bam. Right. Now what about f of 2? -2. So then you say f equals -2. Bang. Domain and range. What variable, so what axis does the domain care about? It cares about the x-axis, of course, because domain is all the x's that you can use. So the smallest x that has an output is -4. Do I include -4?
Yes.
Because this is not open, right? If it's an open circle, then you would include it. But just close it, right? So from -4 up to 6, cool, right? Because it's the last place I see. So I used to say, have a little dude walking on the x-axis, and he sees it first at -4, and he sees it last at 6. So it's -4 to 6. What about the range? The range, of course, must be walking along the y-axis. The first place he sees it, output is at -5, and the last place he sees an output is 4. So the range would be -5 to 4. Let me write that down. So the domain was -4 up to 6, because that's all the x values we saw that had outputs. And the range are the outputs, and the outputs went anywhere from -4 up to, no, -5, sorry, -5 up to 4.
Those are brackets?
Yeah, why are they brackets?
Because they're closed circles?
Closed circles, they include them, right? They include those values. Cool.
So if they weren't closed circles, you just move to the number to the...
No. If I had an open circle here, then I would have used, right there, I would have used a parenthesis on -4. Because -3.9 to 999 to 999 is used, right? You can't just go to -3 and leave all those people out. All right. Where else on this do we want to go to? And just to make sure you guys, hopefully nobody's already done this. I think I said this. Whenever you get a practice test, you don't do the problems on the practice test more than like twice. Because what happens is you know that problem, but you don't know how to do a problem like that. You with me? For one of the first times I taught, I gave out a practice test, and the student got really upset. They got a D on the test. And they said, I studied for like 7 hours. I did those problems over and over and over. And I'm like, well, yeah, you knew that problem, but I'm not going to give you that problem. Am I? I'm going to give you another problem. So the whole point is, if you have a lot of trouble on one of them, then you go to this section in the book where there's live, and you find some more examples. And or you look up the process of how to do it, right? Okay. Where are we off to next? What other topic? How are we doing with absolute value stuff? Because normally that gets a little bit freaky. But everybody seems to be okay. Oh, number 2? Yeah. For part B and D, there's going to be 2 cases, yeah. Because they have absolute values. A and C don't have absolute values. C came out a little freaky, didn't it?
So for, I got a question on 11.
Yes.
Okay.
11.
11.
After we graph, you're gonna want us to include the test point and shape.
Show me some work, yeah. I don't know. If you like the way I do it, there's no work to show, right? Because I just say if it's y greater, you say it up. Woohoo! It's not like you just write a little thing, I do it your way or something. If you do something like test point or something, you got to show me the work. And one big reason why I want you to show me the work is not just because I want to take up more of your time. It's because if you make a mistake and you don't show me any work, you're going to lose all the points. If you show me some work and I can see what mistake you made and I can see it's a very small mistake, you're going to lose barely any points. If I don't see any work, I got to assume the worst, that you didn't even know what you're doing. Does that make sense? So in general, you try to show me some work, and that gives me more places to give you partial credit. Okay. All right. Yes?
So for 2D, all you have to do is just add to both sides, and then you're gonna...
Yeah, so let's see. 2D is a little bit strange. What's the very first thing I have to do on this?
Divide by -2.
Beautiful.
Oh, you divide.
Where's the... There it is. All right. So divide by -2. So you get the absolute value of 3 minus 2x is less than -1.
Then now we get...
We saw a problem almost exactly like this the other day. Absolute value of something less than -1. When can that happen?
Never.
Never. So the answer is
No solution.
no solution. Now I say graph the solution, so there it is. It's a number line with no shading on it. And then I say give me interval notation. Well, the best you can do is empty set. Remember that symbol, empty set? Yeah, so it's the set of no numbers. Because no numbers work. Blank line if you want to graph it. If you didn't put that in, that's fine. If there's no solution, you don't have to give me a blank. It's just to show you. If I say graph it and somebody's like, you told me to graph it. All right, make a blank line. And the other one's okay?
Can you do a 2C?
Yeah, this one's freaky. What happens in 2C?
Multiply.
3x minus 2x. You do this on the back.
The x's cancel out.
Let's see. Minus 2x plus 8. So I get x plus 2 greater than or equal to x plus 8. Right? Subtract x. 2 bigger than or equal to 8.
Never.
When is that true?
No.
So what's the answer?
No solution.
All right.
Another one?
Yeah. Now, if this would have been the other way around, if it would have said less than or equal to, when is 2 less than or equal to 8?
Always.
Always. So what would the answer there be? All real numbers. Kick ass. Exactly like equations have those special cases. You can have the same thing happen with inequalities. It's when the variable disappears. Then it doesn't matter what x is. It's either always true or always false. Okay? But yeah.
Give them a chance.
Like I said, no, it's okay. It's all right. But a lot of you guys, I never want to play poker with any of you. You don't even need glasses. It's crazy. I can't play poker. I know all the stuff. I know all the odds and shit. But my emotions are on my like.
Count the card.
Yeah, count the cards. They're on to us on that one. Casinos take care of that. Did you have a question?
So yeah, for 1A, for 2 minus 4, and you multiply 1A. Yeah.
Where are we at? Sorry.
1/8.
Yeah?
So for 2 minus 4, you multiply by itself 3 times, right?
No. I want this to make sense. The only time I have to FOIL is when the stuff inside the parentheses, I can't put them together. So if there's a variable inside, then I have to FOIL. I know what 2 minus 4 is.
Minus 3.
That's why the first thing in order operations is please, right? Parentheses. Do inside the parentheses first. So what always sucks on that problem is I always have somebody somewhere that does this. And if you did this, I'm not saying bad things about you, but I always have somebody do this. Do you see where that came from?
Oh yeah, this is a bit, they got crazy.
Yeah, where'd the 8 come from? Yeah, somehow they distributed, but exponents are based on what operation? What operation are exponents based on? Multiplication, right? And what operation is in here? So exponents don't play well with subtraction. You can't distribute it across subtraction. I could all day distribute it across here, right? What's 2x to the third power? 8x cubed, right? Because exponents are based on multiplication. They should play well with multiplication. But here, I can't cube each piece because it doesn't play well with subtraction. Thank God I know what 2 minus 4 is. So, dear God, don't do that for several reasons. The most important reason being it's wrong. So the right thing to do, like you said, is to first do what's inside, right?
No, I could just.
So do that first, and then you can. And then the next thing you do is
You divide by.
cube it, and then you do this as it comes. Yeah, cool. I like it. Good old, please excuse my dumb ass son. Or giant son.
So we are solving that though, right? Just getting down to like 17%.
You want to get it all the way down to a number. Yeah, simplify. Solve would mean you have an equation. Yeah, simplify just means you can do the operations. Yeah. Here, let me go ahead and give you the answer key. I'm like, I already did see. All right. And the next thing to be careful about with these practice tests, I think I already said this, but just to remind you, don't just sit there and agree with my answer key, right? That's false confidence. I would have done that. You guys an extra one. Oh, there you go. Did you give it to her? Thanks. Oh, yeah. Is that true? No. So no matter which way you do that problem, you're going to come out with a false statement. Your answer will be no solution to that. Exactly. There you go. Cool. All right.
1C.
1C? Yes?
Well, I agree with you.
What's going on?
Yeah, 1C is weird.
You think they're 127 or 117?
What's happening? Sorry?
Instead of multiplying 12 over 17, you multiply 12 over 27.
Oh, I don't know why I made it at 27. Yeah, it should be 12 over 17. That's my bad. So 1C. For some reason I had something against the number 17. So this should be a 17 right there, right?
So doesn't the answer change? Then it comes out to
Yeah, of course. So then the 17s will do what?
Cancel out.
Cancel. So then you'll get beautiful. Cool. That's just me proving that I am human. This is why if you show me more work and you make a mistake like a 5 becomes a 7 or something just out of nowhere, I might not take any points because I'm always going to grade mostly on, are you showing me you understand what the process is? So the right answer almost is secondary. The most important thing is show me you know what you're doing. Right? So that's why I love it on the word problem. Again, just to reinforce this idea. If you come up with the right answer, but you didn't use any algebra, you're going to lose just about all the points. We had the whole talk about driving class, and you walk to the mall. Right? You got to show algebra probably in algebra class. Right? Okay. Yeah.
For practice test on number 12,
Yes.
what if you don't have the book? Or you don't have
You have to have the book in some way. If you have the online homework, you have the ebook.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't have the online homework, you have to have some kind of book you're looking at. Okay. Don't forget, if you're online, you still have access to the actual textbook. It's called chapter contents in the menu online. So you can access anything in the book. So review days are really up to you guys. If nobody's asking anything, you have complete control. You can ask whatever the hell you want to. If you're completely ready for the test, that's awesome. So you finish your homework. Yes?
Don't you do number 11, you just kind of get the flow on the other side and make it into the map?
Number 11? You solve for y. So then you can see the slope of the y-intercept. And then you plot those lines. Now, of course, the inequality means you're going to shade one side or the other of the line. Yeah. So I didn't show all the steps in solving for y, but again, I'm going to assume you can do that.
So you move the 3x over, and then you multiply by -1, and then flip.
You could. What I always do is I just do this.
Okay.
Y greater than 3x minus 4. Bam. Right? Or you can subtract 3x, divide by -1, then you got to remember to flip the sign, you got to remember the negatives cancel and shit like that. Sure, if you want to do it that way. It'll work out. Maybe. I don't know when I started doing that. I hope you guys don't take that wrong or something. Just always like, please understand what I'm saying. Huh? It's funny? Alright. Good. As long as you don't take it as me being mean or something. Very, very mini. Yeah.
So what do we do when we're done with the test?
We're not going to do more stuff. Like I said earlier, your brain would be fried. Anything I try to tell you then, it'll just kind of like slide off.
We did that during the 3-week winter intercession courses.
Well, in intercession, it's hard not to. Yeah. Intercession, you're like, you got 3 weeks. Holy shit. What class did you take?
Psych.
I taught a stats class, or we used to when it was 13 units. I taught a 103 in 3 weeks. Huh? In intercession. It used to be 3 credits. That was insane. But they did great. It was like the best grades, the best retention they ever had. Because they had no time to forget anything. I don't know, they had no time to do anything either, so I don't know how they got it done. If you're doing a 3-week class, give up your life. If you're doing this class right, you should almost be in that same place right now.
Well, I'm taking this class and another class.
Holy shit, you're in that place right now.
I haven't had friends who just started going back to school. Okay, I even told them, I was like going out to the bars every night and stuff like that, and I told them, once school starts, I'm going off the face of the
I'm off the grid.
You guys won't see me for the next 10 years. Seriously.
Somewhat great.
Unless it's
Yep.
during summer or during break.
Okay, so number 1 is how did you get?
Oh, yeah, so negative 2 times 7 is 1. 3 minus 14 plus 2. Because you see the 5 and the 14, and your brain sees 4 and 5 and makes it 1. 14 and 5 makes 9. Negative 14 plus 5? 9. No, that's very common.
Yeah,
Six.
let me get in here. Thank you though. I bought it for 99 cents. I take them out.
You don't want to until the day of the
I need it because
Thank
no, they
you.
don't. I know. This is what happens when you keep it on
I don't do that. I don't do that.
What's up?
scissors.
No.
Here, this is.
He's like, oh, no. He's gonna look
So when we plot, if I gave you the function, you would make the table value plus points, right? So, for instance, to get there, I would have to plug a 2 in and have a negative 2 come out. So when I plug a 2 into the function, a negative 2 must have been the output. That's why there's a point there, right? So what must the output have been if the input's 4? Well, where is it at 4? At 4, where is it? It's at negative 5. So the f of 4 must have been negative 5. So f of 2 would be what we just said, negative 2. And f of negative 4 would have been 2. Yeah. See, they already did the work. We don't know what the function is, but we don't need to. I see all their work that they did. I know what all the inputs and outputs are. Cool.
Can you help me with the last two problems?
Well, I have to have it. Why?
It's on 7
Oh,
months.
Still, 2 seconds. I don't like it. And then I have my
in which section?
7.7.
50.
A.
Oh, all right. So 58 is not a distance rate time problem, right? It's just a proportion problem.
So in this case,
So to turn, so they caught 25 foxes out of how many? I don't know. How many
So it would
foxes
be-
total?
X.
Good. 25 out of X equals. Now, how many when they caught 36? How many of those had tags?
Yeah, there was a blade blades. So the blades don't come on.
4 of them?
4.
Okay.
And then solve that. Because we're saying, if we tag 25 out of all the foxes, and then later we catch 36, they sort of like mingled all over the place,
Is it
then the percentage here should equal the percentage there roughly.
the same thing as number 78? It's not like distance.